Okay, so when you create a new repo from the template, you will have something like that. You will not have coverage. So coverage, when you run the test, you will have a coverage. Node module, you will not have them. You need to do npm install. You will have a source. Inside the source, you have a folder called utils for util function. I've just put like any function called sum, just so you know that's how you put your function. Then you have a file, JavaScript file, which is called init.js. Then, of course, you have your style. Actually, this one should be styles, not style, but anyway, this should be with S. Let me actually correct it. So let me rename it. Let's add with S styles like that. Okay, after that, you have Babel RC. Babel RC, as I told you, it will allow you to use export and import when you are writing your test, if you need. See spell here, if just one word is not recognized, you need to add it here. You already know that. ESLint, it will help you. It will give you some stuff to write a better code, like some suggestion. Get ignore, you know, I need to ignore the coverage and node module. Here, you just don't worry about this one here. It's just some stuff about naming your file. Markdown here just for the markdown when you write some rule for the markdown. Prettier, just some rule for prettier. In my index.html, as you can see, I already link the CSS. So it's called index.css, yes, and I've already linked the JavaScript as well and type module. And in package.json, as you can see, you have some library here. What's important for me, as you can see, it's just cspell, ESLint, and I have the plugin Babel as well. Here you can run in npm run format if you want to format check lint.js just to check the JavaScript, lint ls md spell check, and also you can run npm run test if you have any test for your util function. That should be simple. Okay, so what is the project for today? The first project, as I told you, it's a counter. I've already explained the counter. I think it should be clear, right? Now we build a second project, and this project, that's what we called hexacolor. Can anyone tell me what is hexacolor? Can anyone tell me what is hex color? So it's now if I want to add a color in my CSS, normally I use what start with hash, and then I have 6 digit or 6 character. These 6 character, they are from 0 to 9 and from A to F, from A to F. So let me show you. Hex color. Let's click on this one. So what the hell is hex color, as you can see? So color hex give information about the color, including blah, blah, blah. It consists of 6 digit, as you can see. So all the time I have hash, then I have 6 digit. And it does not tell me what it is. So let me see. What more do I have? Say digit or character. Explain. Okay. No, it's not explained. So let's see. Here, just give me the value. That's not what I want to. Hex color between 0 to 9 and A to F. You see here, hex color value. So as you can see here, yeah, but where is it? So voila. So as you can see, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 until 9. Then we have A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, in total, they should be 16 digit in total. So here, if I start here until 9, including the 0, that's 10 digit. And then here, because it's 10, I'm missing 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as you can see. Is that okay? So the hexacolor is always the time start with the hash symbol, and after that I have either 6 character, and this character it will be between 0, one of them 0 to 9 and A to F, or sometimes I can have 3 character. 3 character they are repeated. So if the let's say we have 1, 1, and then 2, 2, and then 3, 3. I can here make it short, and I can say just 1, 2, 3, if they are repeated, all of them. So I don't have to do that. It's just like a shorthand. Okay, now what do I want to do? Well, what I want to do, I want to create a button, and when I click on this button, it will change the color of the body of my website or my web page here or my index.html. And also it will show me which color. So it will say hash 1, 2, if something like that. So it will show me the value and also the color or the background of the body. It will be changed to this color. So let's try to do that first. In my HTML, what do I need? Let's start first with my HTML. What do I need? Probably I need a header, right? So let's create a header tag here. As you know, you have a header tag. Inside the header tag, I can have H1, and let's name it hex code or hex color, like that. And now after that, what do I need? I need, of course, I need a button. So I can just create a div here, just for styling purpose. Inside this div, I can create a button. On this button here, I can say change color, for example. I can name it change color, like that. Voila. I need to give them some little bit stuff here. So my button, I'm gonna give it an ID, btn, and type here, I will define it as a button. Voila. Sorry?
Maybe need also as a paragraph to render the text name into the page, not only color on the background, also render the name of this text
The display.
combination. You need paragraph.
Display info, you mean?
Display info, yes. Display this,
Yes, actually you are right. We can create a new div. So let's create a new div here. Actually, I can add it to the button, but let's create a new div here. And here I will just say class, I'll give it a class display. Voila. Or I can give it an ID, it doesn't matter really. So that's all I need here. And now let's go open our index.html in live server here. Okay, load, thank you. That's what I want. Now I need to implement a little bit. Okay, refuse style index.refuse to apply Y.
styles.
Just a second. Yeah, because I changed it to styles. You're right. And now that should be fine. Okay, where is my browser? My browser Chrome is here. My code is here. That should be good. Thank you. Now should be good. Okay. Let me open my CSS. I will add a little bit, just very quick styles, because my objective is not just concentrate on the style, but just so it look a little bit nice. So body, it's fine here. I will take the H1 here, and I will say text align center, and text transformation, text transform uppercase. Yes, that's what I want to. And after that, I will take the display like that. Actually, let's put the button also in display. You think so? Yeah, I mean, why not? Control X. Here, let's put it this way. And here in display, I can put another div, let's say, div. And here I will name it, I will add a class, and I will say value, for example, or hex value, whatever you want to. I don't need this one here. So let's take display. And here, for the display, I'm gonna just display it this way, display flex, let's say, flex. What do I have here? I have div and button. Okay, display flex, just flex direction, let's make it column. And here I'm gonna modify the height and the width. So I will say height, let's make it 100 VH, and width, let's just make it also 100 V width. And let's see how it's worked so far. Nikki. Yeah, but I don't see anything. Okay, so fine. It's really not what I want to. It's very huge. Let's make the button here display block. Button display inline block. And here, let's make the width, let's say 10%. Yeah, but that's not what I want to.
The display, you can add.
Yeah, justify content center. Yeah. Yeah, but Align item also, I need center. Justify content center, align item center. Here, well, that's okay. So that's fine. I mean, a little bit. Let me get it a little bit margin and padding. So margin here, let's give it, I don't know, 5 pixel. And let's give it a padding as well. 10 pixel. Let's give it a border radius of 7 pixel, and that should be a little bit okay. Yeah, a little bit. Okay, of course you can color it the way you want to. My objective is not the styling, I just give it here. My objective is doing the JavaScript. Okay, let me open now my JavaScript file. So I'm going to my source here, and I will open my init.js. And for util function, of course, now I just add this function here just to show you. So I'm not gonna need this function for now. If I need any util function, I will add it later. So let's start first from here. So the first point I told you need to define here is your data. Can anyone tell me? Yeah, let's here say data. Can anyone tell me what are your data? Const data, it's equal to, what are my data?
Object of array.
Object or array. And now here I can make both if I want to. I will make it an array here because I know my project is simple. If you want, you can also, let's make it an object. And here, let's say colors, like that. Or let's name it value, character like that, because each of them is character. And here. Okay, what different character I have? What different character I need to add? 0? It could be string, all of them 0. What else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. And what else? What else? I need to add A. I need to add B. I need to add C. I need to add D. And I need to add E. We have E as well, right? Yeah, now I need F and we should be done. Good. Data is somebody's value never been used. What the problem is here? String must be a single quote. That's okay. Character is not correct, so let me correct it. Character like that. And that's my data. Simply, if I define my data, what are my data? I can make it an array if I want to. I just make it an object because maybe later on, if I want to build on this project, I need to add more data. So that's the reason why I make it an object, okay? So what character I need? What are my data? Well, my data are from 0 to 9 and from A to F. That's fine, okay. What are my DOM element? DOM element, const DOM, it's equal to an object. So what do I need to select here? I need to select the value, as you know. Here's the value, and I need the button, right? And also I need the body because I want to change the background of the body, right? So first, let's see the value here. I can just name it value, or you can give it better naming. It's fine. I can just say it's a class there, right? So I can just say document.query selector, and the query selector here is dot value because it's a class. And the second one here, I need the btn. Btn is not query selector, but it's get element by ID. And here I don't need the dot class. And now I need the body. How can I select the body? It's simple. Document dot body. Document dot body. Okay, I have my data and I have my DOM. So what do I want to do now? Well, now here I need my handlers. I need my listeners, right? Right or no? And if I have any util function later on, I need to add it. But for now, let's just keep it this way. So what listener do I need? I need just to add event listener to my button. Exactly. So how can I select my button? I need to say dom.btn dot add event listener, and the event it will be click. And when I click, I need to execute the function. What should I name the function? Change color handler, for example. Change color handler. Of course, as I told you, I'm gonna just pass reference to the function, the name of the function, right? I'm not gonna execute it. And here in the handler, I need to create it. So voila, that's my value here. It will be an arrow function, as you can see. And voila, that should be fine. Now here, to make sure that my handler is working, so let's just log something to make sure it's working, changing color handler like that. Clicky, go here. I don't need alert anymore. So if I click on here, as you can see, my handler is working perfect. That's good. So what should I do now when I click on this button? Well, when I click on this button, I need to construct or create a color. And this color here, it will be start with the hash. And then after that, I need to get a number from this array, like a random number. So I need to be able to get a random number between 0, included 0, and how much? How many items do I have here? I have 16 items, right? That means it will be the index, it will be between 0 and 15. Why? Because always the index is less than the array length by 1. So the array length is how many items I have. I need to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. But the index starts from 0. That means I will have 15 maximum index. So the maximum index here, it will be 15. Okay, so voila. So what should I do here? Let's remove this one. And now let's try to create something, or now let's try to get a random number. Now to create a random number, it will be a good idea to create a function, separate function. Why? Because imagine it this way. Now, if I have an array, now if I create this random number, it will give me a random item from my array, from 0 to F. And here, after that, I can use it in any other place if I need it, okay? So this one here, it will be not really util function. It will be utility, but it will not be logical function. I'll tell you later why. So let's create this function first here. Utils like that. And here I could just say const get random number, get random number. And as you can see, the name of my function all the time start with, they start with, my function name start with verb, because they are actions. Okay, so how can I get this random number? Well, I can just say return mass dot, no, let me just before that, let's see. So how can I get random number? So I need to be able to get a random number, as I told you, between 0 and 15, right? Because that's the index here. But I want also to work if I add another number to my array. If I add another item, I want them to work as well. So I want this function here to work with any other array. It doesn't matter how many items I have. It will give me index between 0 and the maximum item index we have. It doesn't matter how many items inside. So does anyone have any idea? Sorry? Exactly. So I can use the array length. So if I say mass.random, notice, if I say mass.random, and as you know, mass.random, what does it give me? It gives me number between 0 and 1. 1 is not included, right? If I say multiply by data.character.length, here it will give me number between 0 and 15.99999, but it will never give me 16. Why? Why it will never give me 16? Here's the array length, it's 16, right? So 16 multiplied by whatever giving me the random number, it will never be 16. Why? Because the random number is between 0 and 1. 1 is not included. So I will never have 1. 1 multiplied by 16, it will give me 16, but I will never have 1. So all the time it will be between 0 and 15 point something. But I don't want the point something. I want my index to be integer. So how can I get rid of these dots stuff? Exactly. I can use mass.floor. Mass. So we'll put everything here inside mass.floor, which is upper math dot floor. And inside it, I will put everything like that. And I need to get rid of this one. Voila. No, mass.floor. Yeah. Yeah, but it didn't work as I want to. And here I don't need you. Voila. And of course, now if I call my function, notice what will happen. So let me call my function here, which is get random number. Like that, and I can save the random number and log it, or I can just put it inside console.log because I want to see it. So let's log this random number here, like that. Voila. It's just a little bit testing to see what number I get. So let's refresh and try. So as you can see, I got 7, 10, 14, 9, 15. And voila, here I will never get 16. Why? I told you because the random, it gave me number between 0 and 1, but 1 is not included. That means I will get a number, here's a number of the index, it will be between 0 and 15. And that's what I want to write. And now the advantage of this way now, if I change the length of my array, this number, it will be changed because it depends on the array length. Now I can use it with any array I want to. I can use this function with any array I want to get specific index. But do I want the index? Do I want the index or do I want the character? I can use both in reality. So here, let me use this function here. So what I can do, I can just, let's see, I can declare a variable. Let's name it color. Let color is equal to, what should the color equal to? Hash string. Why hash? Because all the time the color starts with hash. Now what I need to do, I need to find a way to get 6 random indexes. And in the easiest way to do that is by using a loop. So I can use loop 6 times from, so I can use for loop and loop 6 times. And each time I can get a random index here. And from this random index, I can get the item I want to, and then I can construct the color. Is the idea clear? So how can I do that? It should be quite simple. So I can just say for let I it's equal to 0, but I forget I. As long as I, how much? Less than 6. Why less than 6? Why less than 6? Because 0 is included. So I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means 6 times. That's what I want to. I'm starting from 0. And now what do I want to do inside my loop? Well, each time I just will take my color and I say plus equal, and I need to call my function, of course. The name of my function here as the name of my function. So I can say data dot characters bracket, and now my function, it will give me the index, right? And voila. You get the point. So what's happening here, this function here, it will give me an index, right? Index here, and after that, each time I don't want the index. I want to go to my data, I want to use the character, and I want to use the index to get this item. And now, of course, after that, here, something here. So let's hear, what should I do? What should I do here? I need to add it to the body, right? So I need to change the style of the body. So I can just say dom.body dot style, it will work, dot background color, it's equal to color. But that's not only what I want to, I also want to show the value here, right? So I need to get my value. So I can here just go here and I just say dom dot value dot inner text or inner HTML. It doesn't matter here, but inner text, it will be a little bit better. It's equal to the color. And voila. And now here, if I go here, refresh, and I say click it, and as you can see, of course, you need to start a little bit better than that. Because I don't concentrate on the style. Make your button very nice, make some margin here, some space between the two, make your color really nice. And as you can see, whenever I click, random color has been created, hexa color, and it changed the background. As you can see, also show me the value. Question? 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 Did you understand what I did? So here you need to do some logic here, actually. Okay, now I have my data. Let me collapse them. After I finish, I will collapse them so I know I see everything. I DOM here. I don't need any changes. This is my handler. My handler is like the brain, so it's handling everything. That's nice. That's not a problem here. Maybe I need to do something here. This util function, where it should be? Should it be here or should it be in this folder? Yeah. So what I need to do, I need to create a new JavaScript file. I will name it get random number or random number, whatever you know to, but it's good idea to use the same name of the function as the name of the file. Like that, you will not make any mistake. So get random number. Actually, it's get random index, not get random number. Get random index. Get random index. Actually, I can even make it better, my function. You know that? But like that, I need to import my data. Actually, let's make it a little bit. Can I make it a little bit better? Instead of returning the index, can I return a character? Instead of returning the random number, can I return a random item inside the array? Well, I have the index. So I can just access the data, get my character, and say bracket. Instead of doing it in the handler here, see, I'm doing it in the handler, right? I can just do it in my function, and all the time I can just call my function, right? And instead of giving me random number here, no, I will just put this code here inside my function. I will have less code in my handler, yeah? So let's try to do it. How can I do it? Well, it's quite simple. I'll take all this code here. I will not return this one. No. Here, I'm not gonna return it. I will just say const random index. It's equal to, of course, now I'm just saving it here in a variable. And after that, I can return what? I can just return data dot character and random index. And now here it will give me random item, right? Perfect. And now here, I really don't need that here. Instead of that, I can just call my function all the time here. Just get random. Actually, it shouldn't be number. I need to rename it. Get random character, because some of them are not number. Some of them are character. Okay. Sure. Get random character, and voila, get random character. And it should work the same idea, but the character is not correct. So let's correct it. Perfect. And now let's go to our color. It should do the same job exactly. As you can see, no difference. Same job. But now here my function doing a little bit more job, which is okay. And my handler is a little bit more lean. Lean mean I don't have a lot of code on it. Fine. So what should I do now? I need to take this function here, which is called get random character, right? So let me rename it, give it a good naming. Get random character, like that. Character is correct. Let me just take here, so I don't make any mistake. Rename, voila, .js, voila. And now here I'm gonna take my function here, cut it, put it here, voila. And I need to export it, right? So I can just say exp, get random here. But the problem here, I don't have data, right? I do not have the data, right?
Yeah.
So what could be the solution?
Import.
I can import the data if I want to. Yeah, because here I don't really need to use the data in my handler. Do I need to use the data here? Am I using the data at all here? No, I'm not using anything here data. So I need the data actually not in my handler here. I need the data in my get random number. So what I can do here, I can just export the data. If I want to, I can just export, like named export like that. And voila. Now what's the point here? A random number, get random number is not defined. Why is not defined? Of course it's not defined because I did not import. So I have this one. Now what I can do, I can import my data. But should my data be here? Do you think it will be a good idea to create my data in separate file?
In this case, no, because it's not complex. In this case, no, because it's not complex project, but normally you have to tell your
Daria, I'm not asking you. In this case, I can build everything in half of a page, but I want you to learn the concept. So it doesn't matter if the project is simple or complex. Do you think it's a good idea if I separate my data?
Yes.
So what I can do, I can go to my source and I can create a new file and I can name it data.js. Is it a good idea to separate my DOM?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
But then you will have just the empty page.
Actually, it's a great idea to separate everything. And we will learn it in detail in separation of concern. You need to separate everything. Now, the project is small, but when the project gets complex, you will have a lot of data and you will have a lot of DOM element. Do not always think in small, always think big. That's mean, okay, this project is like that, but what if tomorrow my boss came here and I say, I want you to build in this project. So if my project is not well designed, it's not well nicely designed, everything is good enough, I'll not be able to do it. I'll just throw the code and build everything again. And imagine the project like that take 2 years. You cannot throw the code and start again. So all the time you need to start, even if it's small project, the step here, they need to be correct 100%. Okay, I'm gonna go to my init here. I'm gonna cut my data, which should be simple. Cut, this is my data, and here I will put it, and I will remove this export really. Why? Because I need to export it as a default. So I can just say exp default data. That should be good. My DOM, I'll do the same idea. I'm gonna go to init. I'm gonna cut this one, and I'm gonna cut DOM here. Same idea, and I need to export it. So exp DOM, that's perfect. What else do I need? Okay, this function here, I did remove all of that, so I didn't need that. I don't need that. I don't even need that for now. Too many lines. Yes, thank you. Now I need to import first my data. If I start from this one, I need to import the data because this function needs the data, right? So I can just simply import it. I can just say import data, and VS Code help me, of course, from /data, and I need to add .js. Voila. That should be good. Now here I'm exporting the get random character, my function, it will work, but I don't need to use it here. I will need to use it anywhere in my init.js. So what I can do, I can import it here. Well, I can just say import get random, and VS Code will help me, of course. And I can say .js like that. Voila. And of course, now here everything should be fine. Now I have slightly a problem. Of course, as you can see, I don't have the DOM here, right? Should I import the DOM? Okay, I will ask the question in a little bit different way. Do you think here, so what we are doing here, can anyone tell me what are we doing here? What are we doing is this 2 line 10 and 11? Are we manipulating the data? What are we manipulating? The DOM. So would it be a good idea if I create a function which will be responsible for manipulating the DOM only? Because as you can see here, manipulates the data, get random item from my array. I created a function which is called get random character. Can I create another small function to manipulate the DOM? Yes, no? I can, but what is this type of function? What do we call this type of function? What type of function here? What do we call the type of function which are manipulating the DOM, not the data? The data, I know they are logical function or util function. And we know handler, we know listener, but we don't know what type of function manipulating the DOM. We call them component function. It's from React. So React has component, or Angular or Vue, we have component, and that's the reason why we call them component function. So what I can do, I can create, I know maybe you don't understand why I am doing that complex, but you will understand when we get to separation of concern. I want to prepare you for separation of concern because the concept is not easy. So as you can see, everything needs to be separated. You may tell me your project is simple, I can do it in one page. Yes, it is simple, but you need to learn how to do the correct step, because tomorrow, if your project is complex and you did not do it the right way, your project will not be scalable. By scalable, I mean, if you finish it and your boss come to you and say, let's add this feature, you can't, because your project is not done correctly. Cool? This take?
No one uses vanilla JavaScript for complex projects, so
True. Now, most of the companies, they do not use vanilla JavaScript because building a complex website using JavaScript is complex and also take a lot of code. That's the reason why we build or we use a framework or a library like React or Angular or Vue. But it's essential also to understand the vanilla JavaScript And before you go to framework, you need to understand JavaScript, because if you understand JavaScript, you can go to React, you can go to Angular or Vue. It doesn't matter. All of them, they are just framework. But the language behind it is JavaScript. You got my point? Okay, so let's create a small function. And here in this, I will create a new folder and I will name it components. And as you can see, my VS Code, it give it very nice color. As you can see in a nice icon, actually, component. And here, what should be the component? What should I name my function here? I can name it change color, for example. Change is not correct, I think. Change color dot JS. That's simple. Now here, instead of this guy here, I can just take these two value, click. And now I can go to my component function here, and I can just create a function, say const change color. It's equal to, and of course I need to take the color, right? Voila. Do I need to return anything? I need to return anything from this function. Do I need to return anything from this function? No, because I just want to manipulate the DOM. I don't want for now to return anything. I just want to change the color. Of course, I will need the DOM, so I need to import my DOM here. So I say import DOM, and while I have my DOM and everything is okay, .js. And now I need to export this guy. Cool. Now let's go to everything should be fine now. Here in my init, I'm importing my util function. I need to import also my component function, which is called change color, which is cool. And I need to import what? I need to import the DOM, right? The data I don't need to, but I need the DOM. Is it correct? Because I need the DOM for the button. So let's go here, import DOM, and VS Code will help you directly. And voila, everything is good. Now, what should I do here? I need now, after I did this one here, I need to call my component function and pass the color. And voila. And now if I go again to my color here, refresh, clicky, it's working perfectly. It was working before, right? But it was not separated. But now notice what is going on here. What's going on here is change color here. Well, if I want, by the way, I can even pass whatever value I want. I can pass the value as a DOM element. And also I can pass the body, or the body, I don't need to pass it. I can pass the value as a DOM element, and like that, it will be reusable, but it's fine. I'm just changing the color here. That's fine. If I go to util, I'm just getting a random item from the array. It will work with any array. This function, I can use it with any array I want to. This one here, it will work with the body, but I can here, can I make it more usable maybe? What do you think? Can I make it more usable? But it's okay. I'll keep this way. I will not make you go mad. And that's the simple introduction for what we call separation of concern. So in separation of concern, we have normally, we need to separate our concern. We have, all of them are functioning. Yes. We have our data. You understand what's the data. Normally, we should put them in a separate file. They will be inside the SRC. DOM, it will be an object. You will select all your DOM element, should be in separate file. Init.js, that's the introductory here. That's what I need to link to my HTML. And that's what I did actually. And then here we have util function. And util function, I have this function, as you can see. Util function can use data, can use DOM. It's fine. So if they need data or DOM, they can use. But most of the time, util function, they don't use, they only use data. Because as I told you, what's the util function? It takes data and it returns data. Component function, of course, it can access the DOM. Here, normally component functions, they only deal with the DOM. They take data and they change something in the DOM. So they manipulate the DOM. So the function that manipulates the DOM, we call it component function, as you can see. And of course, you know handler and listener, as you can see. So here we call it handler, as you can see, and here we call it listener. Now, listener is simple. And handler, what you need to understand is that handler is a bit special function. Why? Because it's like the manager. What do I mean by that? It's like your brain. So this handler, if they need If they need util function, they can use util functions, they can use component function, they can use even another handler. It's fine. Because this guy here decide everything here. That's the most important function I have for this project. But also, why did I separate the components then and util function? Can anyone tell me why? Because if I need this function in million places, now I can use it. And that's the idea simply. Clear question? I'm expecting a lot of question. Can I open which one? Is it source?
Handler function. Handler.
Handler function. Oh, yep. Yes.
Equal to hashtag. And then on the line 9, we assign color to the function. And why we reassign, why it is not reassign hashtag to the function, but because we will still have this.
You mean this function why is here?
So, we,
You have to speak up, Daria. I cannot hear you.
on the line 7,
On line 7, yes, color.
the color.
Yes.
On the line 9,
Yes.
we have this variable,
Mhm.
and we assign this variable to the function.
Yes.
And why we still have this hashtag? Because it has to be reassigned to the
Ah. Okay, cool. Good question. This hashtag, do you see this hashtag? Now, any hex color, I need hashtag, right, in the beginning? So I put it here. So what this color will be, what this guy here is get random character, what it will give me? Random number between 0 and 9 and A and F, right? So let's say for the first time, it give me 1, okay? So what's going here, it's gonna concatenate the color plus 1. So I will have hash and 1 like that.
Yeah, but my question, if we assign variable to another value, why we still have this hashtag? Because I think we have to quotes, single quotes, hashtag plus get random characters. But we still have,
All the time I need to add the hashtag in.
but, okay, I'll show you. Then I equal 4. Right? We have 4, right?
Yes.
But here we have hashtag, right? And then color we assign to another value.
No, it's not assigned. Don't you see the plus? It means, give me the color, concatenate it with the number and reassign.
Here and here the hashtag plus.
No, because if you do it to be outside the loop, it will add more another 6. So it need to be outside the loop. Don't forget my loop goes 6 times. And here, there you are not noticing the plus equal. The plus equal is means that we give me the current value, concatenate it with this number, and then reassign it to the color.
Yeah,
Plus equal.
yeah.
This is shorthand. You can see color is equal to color plus the number if you want to, but this is shorthand. Okay. Guys, this plus equal means what? This plus equal, it's not assignment. It means give me the value of the color concatenated with this character, whatever it is, and then reassign it to the color. And like that here, I will have 6 character and I will just append it to this hash. I cannot put this hash inside the loop here, because if I put it, my loop goes 6 times. I will have 6 hashtag, and that's not correct. Any other question? I can write this one if I want to in another way. I can say this way. It's equal to color plus like that. And here, what's going to do here, it will just take the color, the old value, it will concatenate it with this guy here, and then it will reassign it to this one. But of course, as you can see, even my VS Code is telling me can be replaced with plus equal, as you can see, which is shorter and better. Cool? Did you understand the basic of separation of concern? We will use separation of concern from now on. All the time you build a project, it need to be separated. Your util function should be separated. If you have any, you can write tests for them. You need to write tests for them. Your component function also can be tested. I didn't teach you yet, but we will see that when we study the DOM in detail. I will see we can also test our component function. Our handler, our listener, we cannot test them. Okay, not in jest at least. Unit testing not possible, but we can test our component function and our util function. And now my question for you, sweet guys, can I test this function or not? Can I test this function or not?
So,
How?
because it gives you random number and you will not have specific input.
I told you what is a logical function or util function. It's a function take data and return data. And also, when I call it with specific input, for example, when I call my function with 1, all the time it should give me the same output. For example, if I have sum and I pass 1 and 2, it should give me 3. If I call it again, it should give me 3. If I call it million times, it should give me 3. For the same input, it should give me the same output. But here, for the same input, I'm passing nothing, but all the time I have random number. So I cannot really test it. So I can test it just to check if the value here, for example, each character here or each index exists in an array, but it's really, I cannot test it because it gives me a random item from the array. You got my point? So for logical function to be tested, you need to take data and return data. And not always you need to take data, by the way, but you need to return data. The most important thing is deal with data. But if it does not give me the same output for the same input, that means if I call it with 1 and 2, as the function is sum, I call it with 1 and 2 million times. If it does not give me 3, I cannot test it. And in this function here, if I call it each time, it will give me a random character, random item. So I don't really need to test it. Is it quite clear? Yes? Perfect. I think I explained everything here. You already have the template repo. So let me click on this one. I've already shared with you on Slack. And you can just use this template. You will have the same file as me. And now you can first start with your counter, build your counter, finish it. And then you can start with this one here. Remember to organize your files, structure here. So what you need to do here inside the source, you should have component. Inside the component, if you have a function which is deal with the DOM, you can have utils, data, DOM in it for now. Later on, we will have 2 more folders. Can anyone tell me what this folder it will be for? We need 2 more folders. It will be for what? For handlers and for listener. Because I will have multiple handlers in my project, so I need to create folder for them, and for each handler function, I need to create a separate file, and also for listeners. But for now, I'll make it simple. I will not make it complex. Yes. Is it quite clear? But not now, later on, I go step by step. I don't want to confuse you a lot.
No, you didn't confuse it at all.
Now you know it's confused. But it's simple actually.
Yeah.
Okay, and let me stop the recording.